Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Synergy, because for every halfway original idea, there's a studio willing to do it again and again and again. I'm Cody, aka the Scarlet Troll, pronouns he, him.
And I am Greg, aka Greg, also pronouns he, him.
And this is a show where typically we look at something that's coming out in theaters and we ask ourselves, what's something tangentially related, or maybe a little more than tangentially related, that we can look back at that already came out a while ago? But this time, we're mixing it up. We're doing something completely original.
This time, instead of tangentially related, it'll be jantily related.
That's pretty good.
Okay, is it? I don't even know if that's actually a word.
It's not. That's what makes it funny.
Okay, good.
But this time, we're doing a tie-in to Marvel Studios' Thunderbolts ***. Yes, we know, they're not the Avengers. You'll see the Avengers next year. Please stop asking us where the Avengers are. And I will not do that, but...
They're the Avengers at home.
They really are, aren't they? But obviously, this is a completely original idea. What with a bunch of washed-out color palette assholes coming together to fight a threat way out of their league and maybe find some kind of redemption... Oh, wait.
Wait. Why am I getting the weird sense of deja vu? Picture of 8086.
Oh, no, I've seen this before in 2021. And 2016. And technically 2014, when you consider the fact that the Suicide Squad movie as we know it was in part made to cash in on the runaway success of Guardians of the Galaxy, but, you know, just because it's a closer one-to-one analogy, I think, we're looking at Suicide Squad 2016, directed by David Ayer, and then edited into the flaming train wreck it became by Warner Brothers.
Wait, was it edited by Warner Brothers proper? Was there not just a guy who edited the movie in post?
I mean, presumably there was a guy, but... So there's a funny story with this, because David Ayer made his cut of the movie, with the help of, I believe, editor Lee Smith helped him make his final cut. And then, Warner Brothers, after the teaser trailer came out that painted the movie as kind of zany and weird and offbeat, they went, oh, we want the movie to be more like this. And David Ayer said, but I already made the movie. And Warner Brothers said, we'll just see about that. So...
Okay.
They proceeded to get the company that made the teaser trailer to edit their own cut of the movie. And then, after running both cuts by focus groups, they then tried to create a cut that was a weird Frankensteinian mishmash of both, which is the creeping horror that was inflicted on people in theaters. And it's not good.
So what you're telling me is that there is an Ayer cut out there.
Oh, that's its own, though. So, there's been a whole push by Ayer to release his cut, and while on the one hand I am sympathetic, to an extent, as I always am, for people whose visions get messed with by the studio experience, I'm so sick of hearing about it by this point, and after the absolute shit show that was the Snyder cut of Justice League, in which Snyder led his fans along for ages saying, oh yeah, my cut already exists, of course it's done, of course it's real. And then on Warner Brothers going, okay, we'll let you release what we got. No, it's not finished yet, I need another $80 million.
That was actually insane. Okay, so it's either done or it's not. Saying I need $80 million to release it is not done.
Yeah, no, so after that, and with how flip-floppy David Ayer has been between, nah, I'm sick of talking about it, nobody's really interested anyway, to, no, you know what, let it come out, I want to see it, to, oh no, it's back off. I don't care anymore, frankly.
To be honest, considering what we got, I think I would be more interested in seeing the Ayer cut of Suicide Squad than the Snyder cut of Justice League.
Well, I am equally uninterested in both, so...
We have reached an impasse.
Just some of the wonderful differences that make up our world.
Mm-hmm.
So, Greg, I have a very important question for you.
Oh, boy.
What if Superman were to rip open the building of one of the two places where we're recording, fly down, and say, I'm taking control of the podcast, also, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe?
I mean, good segue.
Yeah, I finally did it! But... I finally got it!
I mean, if he did that, I think that'd be fucking awesome. I mean, it sucked because we would probably be dead, but it would be pretty awesome.
No, Greg, it's supposed to be bad, and we're supposed to fight him.
How? Wait, we can't fight him. We have no chance. And it's also a thing of, how would it be bad? How could we go bad with the internet cloud of Superman just broke into our respective recording areas and took over our show? Man, we'd be living off that shit for years.
Yeah, you're right, but what if I told you that you got a bunch of boomerangs and I had a baseball bat?
We would fucking die.
Oh. You know something, Greg? I think I might have keyed into the main issue with this movie. This lineup is
not great.
Not particularly conducive to getting anything done.
So it's unfortunate in a couple senses. One big one for me personally is that my best friend, someone I care quite a bit about, she loves this movie. She particularly loves it for Margot Robbie Harley Quinn, which, to be completely honest, I do not blame her for. And that's a thing of, alright, so this is one of the few times where I'm going to do a thing and be part of me almost hopes she doesn't listen to this.
No, tell her to watch it, and also tell her to like, comment, subscribe.
It's like, hey, I'm just going to trash one of your favorite films. Can you give me some clout?
Exactly!
But the other part of it that makes it unfortunate, too, with that setup is because the movie does run with the whole thing of we need metahumans to defeat potentially dangerous other metahumans. Cool. Looks at roster. You only have one, arguably two, but really only one metahuman, and the rest are just chuckle fucks with physical objects.
Yeah, it's also really unfortunate because while I do get liking this movie for Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn, she's also one of my least favorite things conceptually about this movie because, I'm gonna get a little bit of a soapbox here, Harley Quinn should not have anything to do with the Suicide Squad. Putting her on the Suicide Squad is a bad idea because she can't reasonably be contained or controlled. And what are you going to get from her that you couldn't get from 1,000 other people? Also, now you have to worry about, is the Joker in a possessive phase right now, and is he gonna come tearing all our shit down to try and get her back again? But also, from a
meta-human perspective.
Shut the fuck up!
Yeah!
Part of the whole appeal of the Suicide Squad is that it's a bunch of D-list supervillains, any one of whom could die at any time, either as a result of the dangerous missions they're being sent on, or the nanite bombs in their fucking neck. However, you know Harley Quinn's not dying!
Yeah, because it's a thing of, first off, of course Harley Quinn isn't going to die. She was the marketing for this movie, basically, and she's probably the one that the general audience is going to have the most attachment to. And that's really saying something as well, because considering that highlighting the uselessness of what our crew is, because besides Harley Quinn, you have Gun, Patriotic Gun, Boomerang, She's Got My Back, BET, and Sad Fire Person.
Did you include the magic sword?
Oh yeah. She's got my back, her magic sword. What does the line go? Her magic sword traps the souls of her victims or something like that.
No, this is Katana, she's got my back, I would advise not being killed by her, her sword traps the souls of its victims.
You know, that's one of those things that I feel like on the face should be really cool and really awesome and have a lot more weight with it, but it really doesn't.
But it's delivered in the most flat, deadpan, uninteresting way by the third greasiest human being in this movie.
Yes. Who has a killer swing at golf, by the way, in case you didn't know.
Rick Flag?
Yeah, wasn't that one of the things on his stats card?
Oh, maybe it was. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention to that Pokemon trading card bullshit. What do you think? No, so our squad, our very band of murderers.
That honestly is a better fit for this group of people, by the way.
Yeah. We got Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. We got Will Smith as Deadshot, who is fine, but you can actively see the points where he starts checking out.
Yeah.
You've got Jai Courtney as Captain Boomerang, who's just an absolute asshole, who they tried to add more character to by giving him a weird pink unicorn fetish.
Yeah, that's a thing where I don't know a lot about Captain Unicorn's backstory. I can
Captain
only assume
Unicorn!
Well, you know what? He's Captain Unicorn, with how much this movie talks about him having a pink unicorn fetish. I don't know a lot about Captain Boomerang's backstory in the comics. I would hope that the whole stuffed unicorn thing isn't something taken from the books, but it is weird how they have to constantly harp on that as some kind of humor. It's just, sure. Not even as an emotional support thing. It's like, no, this man actively has a fetish.
Yeah, it's so weird, and it doesn't go anywhere in the most frustrating way, and I'll get back to that, but I gotta finish this cast list, because we also got Jay Hernandez as El Diablo, aka the most powerful and best one on the squad, in terms of just general.
The person who probably has the best chance at taking on a Superman-like threat.
Yeah, and even he's dead very quickly.
Yes.
You've got, and I apologize in advance for the pronunciation, I swear I'm doing my best, Adewale Akinnuoye Agbaje as Killer Croc, who is the only other person besides El Diablo who has any kind of powers.
Mm-hmm.
And even he's just a crocodile man. What's that gonna do when Superman goes rogue? I mean, he's dead, but let's say he comes back as a rogue zombie. Not to be confused with a rogue zombie. Huh, that's actually terrifying.
Has there ever been a run of zombie Superman before?
So there was a comic line called Deceased, which is the whole universe
Oh my god.
It's their equivalent
Okay.
of Marvel Zombies.
I don't know what I expected there.
And then there's Karen Fukuhara as, this is Katana, she's got my back, I would advise not being killed by her sword traps the souls of its victims.
Mm.
And they're all led by Joel Kinnaman's Rick Flag, who would proceed to completely redeem this character and performance in the Suicide Squad 2021, overseen by Viola Davis as Amanda Waller, who is just, you talk the worst of the worst, she's actually it.
She is actually the fucking worst. And
in the best possible way.
Yeah, okay, so I remember when we saw this in theaters, when the movie first came out, I loathed Amanda Waller, like hardcore.
I'm sorry, it's just loathed.
Loathe? It is just loathe?
It's loathed, with a D at the end. It's one syllable.
Oh, I did say loathe, though.
You said loathed.
Oh, okay, cool.
I have it on tape.
A loathe of bread.
A loaf of bread.
A loaf of bread. I loathe this bread. You know who doesn't loathe this bread? The people who made money off this movie, but we'll get into that in a moment.
Anyways, Amanda Waller.
Yes, I remember just having just immense disdain for Amanda Waller over the course of this movie. And it was very funny because before that, I had heard the thing of, an actor does a good job playing a villain or an antagonist if you end up genuinely hating them for the movie. To me, that always sounded kind of dumb. And then there are just so many moments where Amanda Waller just does something so honestly evil is the best way I can describe it. I'm just like, can you please fucking die? Oh, now I get it. Now it makes sense. Viola Davis is probably one of the best, if not the best actor in this movie, in all honesty, when it comes to playing her character.
Hey now, you're discrediting the best of the best. Our God, our Lord, our Savior. Adam Beach as Slipknot, who's clearly not just here to die.
Oh god, my favorite thing about the Wikipedia page for Suicide Squad 2016 is the fact that almost every other character that actually has a bullet point has a decent amount of description for them, like at least a little bit. And then for Slipknot, it just says Adam Beach as Christopher Weiss / Slipknot, a man who can climb anything. And that's it. There's nothing else after that.
Absolutely perfect.
Uh,
This squad was assembled under the concept of what if Superman wasn't dead and he went rogue, and the answer is, well, you're certainly not going to stop him with these guys. But instead, they're assembled to deal with June Moon, who's possessed by a spirit known as the Enchantress. And, everything about this is infuriating. The fact that she's the only one, she's the most powerful person on the squad by far. She's also the one with the least amount of actual containment measures on her, because she doesn't have one of the nanite bombs. Instead, her disembodied heart is just basically kept in a suitcase by Waller. And in the event that this all-powerful magical sorceress goes rogue, Amanda Waller's backup plan is just repeatedly stab the heart with average human strength and hope that you can take her out in the time it takes for her, in the blink of an eye, to scramble your entire internal organs around.
I feel like it would make more sense just to put one of the neck bombs in her heart.
Yeah, you'd think!
That would be a lot more exacting, if nothing else. I can just stab you with a pen like a Looney Tunes cartoon and hope that you go down quickly enough. Or I could just end this instantly at any moment, and you know that I can end this instantly. That's a little nuts. Not as nuts as one of, I think, 2 potential fun facts about this movie, the second one I'm getting into later, kind of reading this over. Apparently, the original script of the movie had it where it was going to be revealed that Enchantress was being controlled by Steppenwolf.
Oh, good. More tie-ins to Zack Snyder wrecking the DC sandbox. Perfect.
Yeah, that was the original plan, but I guess they changed something in the Justice League's script so that idea became moot.
Huh. No, this is just God, the dialogue is insipid. It just some of the most flat, deadpan nonsense. Not that I've ever heard, but it certainly stands out examples. Case in point, This is Katana, she's got my back. I advise not being killed by her sword traps the souls of its victims. Which is the most she ever really does in this movie, is be exposited about by Rick Flag.
Speaking of Rick Flag, going into the second fun fact, apparently Tom Hardy was originally cast to be Rick Flag. And there's a part of me that kind of wants to see that version of the movie.
I think for this movie, that would have been better. He is not a better choice, but it would have been a better pick for this movie.
I don't know if it would have been better, but it would have been funnier, that's for sure.
I'm just imagining Tom Hardy doing the Katana spiel now, and...
in Eddie Brock's voice.
This is Katana. She's got my back. Alright? Oh man, that's great.
That's pretty good.
So, the dialogue, terrible. The plot, non-existent. The soundtrack, subtle as a sledgehammer, honestly.
It really is as subtle as a bomb to the neck.
And then, the humor, such as it is. I think there is one line on this latest rewatch that got a solid chuckle out of me. And it was Griggs, the asshole prison guard, saying to somebody else, if this guy shoots me, kill him, and then clear my browser history.
I'm just sitting there like, oh, wait, no, you can't do just browser history, because first off, you work here. You are bona fide a freak of nature in some capacity. And secondly, you work here as an official government employee. Considering that we see later on that this guy isn't completely infallible, you gotta, take out the hard drive and dump that shit in the Hudson River.
And of course, in addition to the Enchantress's shenanigans, they also have to contend with Jared Leto as one of the absolute worst Jokers of anything.
I'm not gonna lie, when we rewatched this, I completely forgot that Jared Leto was in this movie. No, because... Do you know how hard it is for me to say that somebody fucked up the Joker? In all of the DC adaptations I've ever seen, and I've seen quite a few, there are only two actors whose Joker performances I find unsatisfactory. And you know something? Joaquin Phoenix doesn't even really make that list. Oh, really?
I mean, I don't really count him, but even if I did, he's still better than Jared Leto, and he's still better than Brent Spiner. And to be fair to Brent Spiner, that's mostly because Young Justice's Joker adaptation is barely in it and sucks. So it's less about Brent Spiner and more about that particular adaptation. So just on merits of performance, Jared Leto is the worst one, and the list of Joker performers includes Zach Galifianakis. So, who I'm not saying is a bad actor, but I am saying you wouldn't expect to see him on a this is a really good Joker list.
Mm-hmm.
Just, God, what an absolute... awful, cringy, groaning Ace Ventura wannabe fuckwit. Just, hunka hunka! God.
The grunts are a little much.
Everything about him is a little much. The tattoos, the grill, the fucking... everything about the relationship with Harley is frustrating as hell. Fuck!
Their whole thing is frustrating because it's kind of portrayed in a way where when Harley is still Harleen Quinzel, they don't really show much of Joker getting to her. In fact, if anything, when they introduce her working with the Joker, she's already entranced by him. I remember being like, that's disappointing. I was kind of hoping to see more build-up into how all of this really got going.
Oh, speaking of build-up, you know who really sucks in this movie?
You know, that's a really open-ended question.
Well, the answer is most of the characters, but specifically Batman.
Batman is not a good Batman in this movie, in terms of doing things. And he's only in for 2 scenes, technically 3.
Yeah, he's barely in the movie, but somehow manages to establish himself as about as much of an asshole as he was in Batman v Superman. Because even for a pre-Batman v Superman... I have not yet learned the important lesson of treat other people whose moms' names are also Martha with dignity and humanity.
It's before he went through his Martha life crisis.
God fucking damn it. Why did you say that name?
Hell yeah.
Wait, I said it first. Why did I say that name? But no, there's a whole bit where they show how Deadshot got apprehended, and it's because he was out with his daughter, who he actually gives a fuck about. And then Batman proceeds to confront them in an alleyway with the express purpose of locking Deadshot up and taking him away from his daughter. Batman!
And not only that, when the daughter tries to stop her dad from shooting Batman, she goes directly in front of Batman to shield him, which Batman is way too okay with.
He does nothing to get her out of the way. I'm sure he knows that Deadshot's not going to shoot his daughter, but I still think Batman should at least take issue with this thing that is going on. He should say something, he should try to move her out of the way. There is no universe in which I see Batman being alright with a child using themselves as a human shield to protect him.
Yeah.
Just awful.
Yeah, not good.
It's such a small detail, but it goes up my ass like an open umbrella, if I'm being 100%.
Right.
So, the Suicide Squad, the Patsies, as some kind of Suicide Squad, as Will Smith calls it, they go to Midway City, which has been taken over by the Enchantress and her brother, who I don't give a fuck about. And they crash down, they get into a long extended fight scene that's actually more like 3 fight scenes, but nothing of
spliced together.
No, it's not spliced together, it's just, technically speaking, it's 3 different action beats, but it feels like one long fight scene because nothing of substance happens in between these fight scenes, culminating in Harley Quinn getting in a fight with the STD fungus minions to a song that's going swing bada bada because, again, subtle as a sledgehammer.
Right.
But it turns out their mission is actually to rescue Amanda Waller, who was in Midway City at the time, who then proceeds to shoot her own support staff because, again, Amanda Waller is the absolute worst, to the point where even fucking Deadshot calls her on it.
That whole twist, if you can really call it a twist, is one that still kind of racks my brain a little bit, because it's the thing of, I need you to go into Midway City to rescue an HVT. And it feels like they were planning on that whole reveal having a lot more impact than it did. And it's just like, guess what? I'm the HVT. I don't care about you, dog. I already dislike you, so it's cool, whatever.
I'll give this a little bit of credit. I think it's there to establish just how self-serving Amanda Waller is, that the first assemblage of the Suicide Squad proper is just to save her from a mess of her own creation, because this whole thing was kickstarted by the Enchantress, who was allowed to set it up because she threatened Rick Flag's relationship with Moon, that Waller specifically encouraged and tried to set up because she knew it would give her an extra bit of leverage over Rick Flag. But also, why the fuck are these two interested in each other? They have zero chemistry.
Yeah, and especially the delivery of their relationship was not great, because it's a whole thing of, we see Moon get possessed by the Enchantress, and Waller assigns Flag to look after her, and then at a certain point early in the movie, Waller just goes, and then just as I calculated, they fell in love.
Shut the fuck up!
How? With what? Cue meme of guy with the whiteboard in the background, because I really don't know how you, air quotes, calculated that, and I would love to know. But as far as I can tell, you just pulled that straight out of your ass.
So Waller ends up getting actually apprehended when her helicopter gets shut down, and despite the squad losing any threat of getting their heads exploded now, they decide, you know what, fuck it, we're gonna save the world after all.
Because it's the right thing to do.
Because it's in the script, frankly.
Yeah.
They go up against the Enchantress, and somehow, they don't all immediately die. Only El Diablo, for some godforsaken reason.
Which is a shame.
It's really a shame because she could have easily killed any of them.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, doesn't kill Harley, Boomerang, Deadshot, this is Katana, she's got my back, I would advise not being killed by her sword traps the souls of its victims. Not a single one.
Ooh, man, I just thought of something that actually would have been really cool.
Yeah.
What if Katana... Wait, no. No, wait! No, that actually is supposed to... Fuck!
What?
Because, okay, so first off, in rewatching this movie, I forgot how long Katana sticks around. And with that, at the end of the movie, because of course we're going to jump around a whole bit here, Katana's sword, doesn't it carve the heart out of Enchantress?
Yeah, because it's a magic sword, and that's why she would probably be the second most likely character on the team to stand a chance against Superman. But not really, because if I could put my nerd hat on, Superman isn't specifically weak to magic so much as he has no resistance to magic, so a magic sword is gonna cut through him like it would through anybody else. However, you still assume that the person needs some degree of super strength, so I don't see this is Katana, she's got my back, I would advise not being killed by her sword trapped soldiers as victims, to be able to swing that sword with enough force to grievously injure a rogue Superman anyway. So I think she's still dead.
Well, yeah, so that's my thing then. Wouldn't that mean that the sword takes and changes his soul at that point?
No, because it doesn't kill her, it just cuts her heart out, but you have to destroy the heart to kill her.
Oh, that's really unfortunate, honestly.
Yeah.
Could you imagine how overpowered Katana would be if her sword had Enchantress's soul in it?
Oh, that'd be something else.
That would be amazing.
So they cut her heart out, at which point Rick Flag helpfully narrates both to Deadshot and the audience, "Her heart's out! We can end this! Yeah, thanks, no shit, Sherlock, I've been watching the same fucking movie as you."
Begrudgingly watching the same movie as you.
Very begrudgingly. I know how this goes. And then they destroy the heart, Enchantress is defeated, June Moon is saved, everybody goes back to prison, but a little bit better off than they left, except Captain Boomerang, who tries to negotiate his way well above his pay grade, and yeah, so that's it.
Yeah. We get that. Croc gets BET. Harley Quinn gets her espresso machine.
And reunited with the worst Joker.
And then to put the cherry on top, the Joker breaks into her prison cell and breaks her out for sequel. Okay, just to make sure. The Birds of Prey is not in the same universe as this movie, right?
No, it is.
It is? Oh, okay, never mind then.
Yeah.
Alright, so that is unfortunate, but still fitting sequel bait.
Technically.
Mm-hmm.
No, I genuinely thought that rewatching this after, because it's been years since I last saw it, I genuinely thought, maybe I'll come away from it going, this isn't as bad as I remember, but no, it's
still pretty bad.
Yeah, it's not a good time, that's for sure.
Yeah. I would say, to be honest, if you've seen Guardians, but you've never seen this movie, A, if you don't see this movie, you're not really missing much, but B, I feel like if you watch this movie right after seeing Guardians or being very familiar with Guardians, it's a fascinating watch just to see how another studio really try and chase after what's the phrase? The firefly in a bottle or whatever?
Lightning in a bottle.
Close enough. The lightning in the bottle that was the first Guardians movie. And to watch a different studio try and capture that too and not do as good of a job.
Honestly, it's not even about comparing it to Guardians. You could just watch the 2021 Suicide Squad.
Or that too, because that is actually a better movie that's a lot more enjoyable and has much better stakes to it. The acting is better, it's a lot funnier. Margot Robbie is just as amazing in it.
Honestly, she's better in that one. They gave her more to work with.
They gave her a lot more to work with. I'm a fucking superhero.
I'm a motherfucking super... This isn't about that one.
Yeah, it's not.
The worst part is I feel like nothing we've said is new. Nothing we've said hasn't already been said. Actually, that does remind me, though. I have to talk about one of the greatest misunderstandings of how humor works in this movie.
Oh, boy.
So we're gonna circle back to Captain Boomerang's pink unicorn fetish.
Yes. Wait, why?
It's established in that stupid list of trading card stats that he's got an attachment to pink unicorns.
Mm-hmm.
And then, several times throughout the movie, as they're making their trek through Midway City, we see him pick up this pink unicorn that he has with him, which also, can I just say, I know they're trying to disavow all knowledge of Task Force X in the event that they're compromised, and that's presumably why they're not wearing, Argus uniforms or something, but why the fuck are they allowed to run around in their actual regular supervillain outfits?
In the effort to disavow them, it could be a thing where they were just acting off their own accord, but working together to create more chaos.
Yeah, but how'd they get... Okay, you could just have them be in prison jumpsuits, and then if they get caught, just go, yeah, they escaped. How did they... Because this just poses, how did they get their stuff? How did Harley Quinn get that choker that says puddin' on it?
Yeah, that's fair. That's a good point.
But that's not where I'm going with this. So, Captain Boomerang is reunited with this stuffed pink unicorn that we periodically see him gingerly tuck into his coat pocket. And then, during one of the fight scenes, he gets stabbed through the chest, or so we think. He sits back up, he opens his jacket, and he pulls out the knife run through a big stack of money.
Yeah. That was a whole thing, wasn't it?
Where'd he get the fucking money? What happened to the unicorn? That was such a big deal. God, that's just this movie in a nutshell. Stack of money in place of a pink unicorn. Because, it was at least commercially successful.
It was very commercially successful.
It made almost 750 mil on a budget of 175 mil. I'm just glad that by the time we got a sequel, it was an actual good movie.
Yeah, that's right.
Because this is just a big stack of grimy cash in place of a pink unicorn.
Mm-hmm.
In any case, thanks so much for listening, everybody.
Listening to our ramblings.
Yeah. You already know what to do. I've gone through the things. Next month, we got a few different options. Because we could always do one of the John Wicks, because Ballerina's coming out. We could do How to Train Your Dragon. We could do 28 X's later.
Man, so we have a whole harem route there.
Or we could just do something weird and tenuous to tie into either F1 or Megan 2.0. But I guess we'll see.
Right.
And I still don't have an intro, so I gotta figure that out. I'll have to make one up. Bye everybody.
Goodbye everybody.
This is some kind of cinema synergy.
Oh Jesus Christ.